Connie Francis was the first woman to ever score a #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. But right when she hit her peak, she was beset with horrifying tragedies one after the other, to the point that she tried to kill herself so many times. What happened to her that could be so grim to the point she would want to take her own life? And were these misfortunes of her own doing? Let's find out while we also show you some of her rare photos. Born to an Italian-American family, Concetta Rosa Maria Franconero grew up in an iron-bound neighborhood in Newark, New Jersey. She grew up around so many Jewish people that in addition to knowing both English and Italian, Yiddish and Hebrew became second nature to her. At a very young age, her father, George Franconero, identified her unique musical talents. Recognizing that she could be his ticket to financial success, he decided to help her foster that talent. As such, from the tender age of 4, he paraded her through as many talent contests, pageants, and competitions that he could find. There, Connie displayed not only her aptitude as a singer, but her skill as an accordion player as well. Despite how busy she was kept on the stage, Connie did not slack off at school either. She was a highly intelligent student, graduating high school as the salutatorian. As such an academic powerhouse, there were so many career paths available to her, even back then in the 50s. However, encouraged by her father, she decided to pursue a career as a singer. Breaking into the music scene was a far more difficult task than either Connie or her father anticipated. In the early 50s, year after year of grinding away at her craft often bore little fruit. After appearing on the Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts radio program, she was advised to change her stage name of Concetta Franconero to Connie Francis. The reason being that Connie Francis was catchier and easier to pronounce. She was also advised to drop the accordion as it did not appeal to young people anymore. All this Connie gladly did. And although these changes earned her some attention, it was not as much as she would have liked. From 1953 to 1955, she appeared on NBC's variety show Startime Kids. Right when the show was beginning to gain traction, it was canceled by the network. Hence, one of the few outlets Connie had to display her talents was taken away from her. It seemed then that her music dream was not long for the world. At that moment in time, her father, refusing to give up on their shared dream, pulled together some funds to allow Connie to record only 4 songs. He planned to play those 4 songs to major record labels in order to get Connie a record deal. Despite his noble efforts, those songs largely failed to impress. However, in a stroke of good luck, one of the songs, titled Freddie, was purchased by an MGM executive as a gift for his son, who was also named Freddie. With that, Connie finally had her record deal. Now, it was time to prove she deserved it by recording hit songs. The record deal with MGM did not go as smoothly as Connie and her father imagined. Though she had the talent, it was difficult for her to produce a major hit for the label. One of the reasons for this was confusion regarding her brand. Her management wanted her to sing ballads and old romantic songs, while Connie herself wanted to make something that appealed to the youth. Despite a couple of small hits, one of them being the song You, My Darling You, MGM decided in 1957 not to renew her contract. Given her unimpressive catalog so far, Connie knew no other major record label would give her a chance. It seemed at last that her dream was to die once and for all. She even started looking for medical schools that she could apply to and was offered a 4-year scholarship from New York University on account of her incredible academic performance in high school. Once again, her father, determined to make a huge star out of her, was not quite ready to give up. He made her record a cover of the 1923 song Who's Sorry Now. Connie fought tooth and nail with him, as she did not want to be associated with such an old tune. But her father stood his ground until she reluctantly recorded it. Despite giving in to her father's wishes, Connie did not have high hopes for the song. She thought that, like many other female upcoming artists at the time, it would barely make a blip. However, she was shocked when the song was featured on Dick Clark's American Bandstand. After an incredible introduction by Clark, the song exploded nationally and internationally, virtually turning Connie into a household name overnight. For Connie and her father, stardom was finally here, but this was not time to rest on their laurels. Rather, it was time for them to do more important work than ever, to capitalize on all the eyes and ears that had finally landed on them. Her father, seeing an opportunity in her international fame, advised her to go to London to further her career. There, using her knowledge of Yiddish, Hebrew, Dutch, and Italian, she could record songs in multiple languages that would earn her numerous international fans. At the famous Abbey Road studio, Connie put together a project known as Connie Sings Italian Favorites. This solidified her position as a talent to be reckoned with. It remained on the charts for a whopping 81 weeks. This plan for Connie to conquer international territories was a resounding and absolute success. Connie catapulted herself away from the old tunes and towards the modern and far more exciting rock and roll. In 1960, she was recognized as the biggest female artist in Germany, Italy, Australia, the United Kingdom, and Japan. With nowhere else to go, it was time to return home and show her people what she had learned. Connie's return to America was supposed to be a triumphant moment in her life. However, it turned out to be the moment when everything began to change for the worse. While looking to perform at the Westbury Music Fair in New York, Connie stayed at the Howard Johnson Lodge in Jericho, New York. There, she was sexually assaulted by an unknown assailant. The event was particularly traumatic, as Connie was almost suffocated by the mattress of the bed. Things were made worse by unsympathetic family members. Surviving the encounter, Connie sued the Howard Johnson Lodge for their lax security. This netted her a $2.5 million payout, the largest for a case like that at the time. The money may have brought Connie momentary restitution, but it did not help much beyond that. It did not stop her mind and her life from spiraling downwards in an out-of-control fashion. Because of this incident, Connie fell into a very deep depression. No amount of psychotherapy could help her much. She overdosed on her meds, taking as many as 50 opioid pills a day. While this did not improve her mental health, it destroyed her body in other ways, damaging her nose and throat canals. As a singer, Connie's voice was everything to her. With her damaged throat, she had no way to sing, no way to express herself, no way to connect with others, and no way to provide for herself and her family. She quickly had nasal surgery in order to undo the damage. However, the lengthy recuperation period meant that she had to go even longer without being able to sing. When she finally returned to the booth and to the stage, her voice was no longer the same. Things somehow managed to get even worse for Connie when her beloved brother, George Francanero Jr., was killed by the Italian mafia. He had been killed for giving testimony against one of the mafia bosses. Connie tried to put on a brave face and keep on performing in the face of this tragedy, but she just couldn't. Buckling under the pressure, she went into a full mental breakdown. Officially diagnosed with manic depression, bipolar disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder, Connie was committed to a series of mental hospitals in order to get her better. None of these institutions was any help though. All they managed to do was make her worse, and in 1984, she attempted to take her own life. This attempt signaled one thing to Connie's management team at the time. The dream was over. Connie would never again be able to grace the stage as she once did. All that was left for her was to try to make some sort of a life for herself. Perhaps things would have been different for Connie if she had managed to find true love. However, she was as unlucky in love as she was in life. Married 4 times, 3 of her spouses were only around for a couple of months before divorcing her. She could not find romantic stability no matter how hard she tried. Connie's only marriage to last more than months was to a restaurateur and a travel agency owner known as Joseph Garzili. After lasting more than 1 year, it seemed to the public at the time that her romantic troubles were over. However, after 4 years of being together, their marriage also ended in divorce. There is one other individual with whom Connie shared an amour fou. He was an American singer by the name of Bobby Darin. Darin's manager wanted him to write a couple of songs for Connie to turn into hits. However, creatively speaking, the two of them did not see eye to eye. Despite these creative differences, a love blossomed between the two of them. Soon enough, they could not keep their hands off each other. Valuable recording booth time was wasted by the two of them in their romantic efforts. Soon enough, Connie's father, who saw Bobby Darin as a threat, decided to step in. After hearing Darin tell Connie to elope with him, Connie's father pulled a gun on him. This scared him off, but not without breaking Connie's heart. She never found a love as passionate as the one she shared with Bobby, and one can't help but wonder what would have happened if she had run away with him. Despite the numerous tragedies that Connie Francis has suffered in her life, she is still alive today. At the age of 85, she has completely faded into obscurity. Some of her oldest fans try to find out about her from time to time, but all to no avail. One can only hope that wherever she is now, she has made peace with the past and spends the rest of her days reflecting on her triumphs and not on her tragedies. If you enjoyed this video, there's a good chance you'll also enjoy the one showing on your screen right now. Click, enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.